Peace, peace.
Hey, hey, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. Super excited. We're waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm here trying to set it up. Pause my camera,
No
set it up.
problem. Listen, so guys, we're super excited for this episode tonight. So I am Yoni, your host, Ash and Lewis Redway. And of course, my beautiful co-host Daniel cannot be with us tonight. So we are going to jump into this. Of course, with Indie Talks, we are talking to some of the dopest artists and music professionals that is doing anything in the industry. And tonight we have Onyx Sami. What's going
Yeah.
on?
What's going on? Peace to the peoples, man. What's going on?
All right.
I'm here. I'm in the
We're going to get
building.
right into this because, sitting and kind of vibing out to the music, I was kind of saying it kind of gives me that late 90s to early 2000 feel, kind of giving me that, Nas type feel, throwback, things of that nature. So you're amazing as an artist, hands down. The writing as an MC, like you're just hands down amazing.
Appreciate
Um,
it.
Talk about you starting your music career, because it's a journey. So talk about you really having that pivotal moment of saying like I'm gonna take this serious and that I'm really just gonna go into this.
So, shit. I mean, we gonna have to go way back to like, high school,
Mm-hmm.
probably like freshman year, something like that, For me, it was like, it always was around me, but I never wanted to, do it myself until like I listened to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it on the radio, but I never like sat and listened to a full body of work till like high school. A friend of mine, he was trying to get rid of some music, and I mean, he didn't care about it. He had it sitting in his backyard, and we did chilling, and I noticed it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, what's that? And he's like, oh, that shit's garbage. Trying to get rid of it. I'm like, what? I'll go through it.
What was the
And
music?
this is AZ. I discovered
Ooh.
the AZ Do or Die album. You know what I mean? At the time, I didn't even know who AZ was. And I didn't understand that type of. It wasn't mainstream even back then in a way. In a
Right.
way, it wasn't mainstream. You had to be a real hip hop head. Aside from Wu Tang, that's what everybody knew
Mm-hmm.
about. Wu Tang, Biggie, things like that. So I ended up listening to it. I went home, listened to it, and it resonated.
Right.
It just resonated with the lifestyle that I was living, the things they was talking about, the things I was seeing in real life. It was like, damn, I want to do that. It was like, damn, they like superheroes. That's how I felt at the time. Like, damn, I didn't even know you could articulate your life in that way in such detail. You know, I, I heard 50.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the melodic shit comes from
Right.
because that was around that time 50 came out. And I started taking it serious. So I'm more inspired from that era.
Okay. Listen,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. And I like that you kind of said mention 50 because, 50 when he first dropped, his, not his EPs, but all of his mixtapes and things of that nature. Like his flow, like it was that
It was
NYC,
unique. It was
very
unique, man.
unique,
Even
very
even Dips, even though Dipset too. That like the whole Dipset, that was like my high school era. Like that shit was like a cult thing. You know what I mean? People, we had street gangs after these guys. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, right.
it inspired your life in a way, and not just musically. So, that's what really made me want to like create my own type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It made me want to like have my own shit too. But yeah.
So definitely talk about having your own. Talk about for you, because you name like a lot of artists that holds a lot of weight. Talk about you as an artist coming into this game and really holding your individuality, compared to, a lot of artists that's trying to like jump on the trend bandwagon and things of that nature. How are you standing solid and holding your own?
Um, what I took from, what influenced me was the authenticity thing. That's what, most of those guys who had the longevity stemmed from the fact that they were authentic. The music
Mm-hmm.
matched with their life. So, I felt like I needed to focus on that element as an artist. Being authentic is not being like anybody else.
Right.
Being true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So me wanting to create the whole Ox thing, even a name, it's inspired from sentimental things like family and shit. That's probably never gonna see, freedom again. So it's like my way of keeping them alive. So I incorporate everything that I go through in the music and just master my own style. That's what it's about. Mastering being the best you, at whatever it is. For me, it's music. So,
Of
you know what I'm
course.
saying?
And
That's how
along
I
your
go.
journey from when you started to where you at now, talk about some of the things that you learned as an artist for yourself, because clearly we know the music industry can be a little bit crazy. So talk about some of the things you learned while, growing and creating your music.
Shit. Like, what do you mean? Like what I learned as far as like as an artist or just in
What
my
have you
life?
learned for as yourself as you was from when you first started, when you look at when you first started up to the point where you at? Talk about some of the things that you have learned along the way that, kind of stuck with you, that kind of gave you the, the power that you have in regards to, your writing, when it comes to your music, when you're picking out, putting together your style and knowing who to work with. What have you learned as an artist yourself or as a creative yourself?
Sure. It's good to. It's like there comes a time when it's a constant process to soak up. You know what I'm saying? Soak up game from listening to up and coming people or just people around your way that's doing it. But when you're creating, it's very important to not allow those things to influence your own style. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to remain original no matter what you're inspired by. You just have to find a way to make it your own or just recreate it in your own original way. So I've learned that, a lot of people, in my opinion, they just go with what's going on. Like, oh, this is popping, so I'm gonna do some shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't never get with that formula. You know what I'm saying? I'm always gonna do my thing my way. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's what I've learned. Staying true to you, the whole trip. That's it's always gonna pay off. People may not be latching on to what you're doing right now or feeling your style at the moment, but it's gonna grow on them. Stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? Being consistent, it pays off. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I
Just to
definitely
throw
agree
two.
because
Yeah.
I think that, obviously when we look at the decades of music or styles of music that have came along, of course, it's something different. Obviously we got, we went from, hardcore rap, and then we went into the more of this, hip hop mixed with R&B style. And then we kind of went into the transition of, singing and rapping. And then we have all of the newest, trap music and all sorts of things, styles of music. I think that when you
Right.
keep your authentic self, someone's bound to eventually say, you know what? Yes, like I'm gonna jump on
Uh,
this because it's
that's a
different.
fact. It's a fact. I feel like once you master your own style, you could adjust it to anything. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. If once you master what you're doing, you're gonna be able to adjust it to whatever. So, like with me as an artist, if you really, people who haven't, but if you get into what I got going on, you'll notice I'm all over the place sonically. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like you catch me on some like fist pump shit, like you know what I'm saying, like house music shit,
Got
like
some
you
house
know what I'm saying.
music.
You
Got
ain't you
some
ain't you ain't no telling what you gonna get. So I'm gonna find a pocket that works for my sound. You know what I mean?
right.
And I think that's what it is. That's what it's all about. You gotta stay free. Keep your creative capability free. Don't put yourself in no box. That's if you want to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's,
All right.
some people just, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, my personal opinion.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
So talk about some of the positive and negatives in which, because one thing about our show, we have a lot of different levels of experience with artists, and we have industry people that come through and kind of talk about some of those, highlight some of those good and those bads. Can you say so far in this journey that you have experienced some ups and some downs?
Yeah, yeah, most def. Um, you know, for some people, I mean, being an artist, you have to be prepared in many ways to, what's the word I'm looking for, to sustain the journey, to be able to present yourself properly as an artist. It takes investing in yourself and a lot of different things. It's a lot of different aspects to this. So, if you have your personal life is not in order, it's a little hard to balance that out. So, just for anybody up and coming who wants to do this, if you don't have a support, make sure you have a support system. Make sure you have stability so that way you could put your focus in the shit, like if you really want to do it for real. Because, it's just like anything else. You get what you put into it.
Right. And
Yeah.
you mentioned something, talk about balance. Talk about balancing, because obviously as creatives, to have, some are still working 9 to 5, some are just, focusing on music, some has relationships, children, things of that nature. Talk about how you able to balance your art or your love for music while trying to live your daily life. Like, and then on just to piggyback off of that, how do you hold on to keep your mental health intact?
Shoot, man. Like I said, man, one of the things is a support system, whatever that is for you. Just make sure you have it set up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to balance it when certain aspects of your life may require for you to give that more attention. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you might find yourself abandoning your craft. You know what I'm saying? In certain ways. So one thing is to stay obsessed. If you love this thing, stay obsessed with it. You know what I'm
Talk
saying?
about
And if you're obsessed
it.
with it, man, it's naturally gonna happen. Even if you don't get a chance to record, go to the studio, do shows, make sure you stay writing, stay creative. So that way when the time comes when you're able to go do what you gotta do, you're
You
prepared. You know what I'm
ready.
saying? So you're ready. So that's my tip on how to balance it out. You know what I mean?
All right.
Uh,
So before we get into the music, I had one other thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about like you understanding your team, right? Because clearly,
uh,
hands down, like literally, we're gonna get into this project because just every Strange Fruit, Gun Blaze, Red Drum, like all of them, like is excellent tracks that I grew fond of. Just listen
mhm.
to it over and over.
Appreciate
Talk about
appreciate it.
your team, how important it is to have your team grounded in your vision and what you see and what you're hearing for the music that you want to put out to your audience.
Oh wow. I mean, there's an aesthetic that it naturally kind of just formed itself. Like one of the things I mentioned earlier is just staying true to what you're doing. There was a time when the style of music that I was creating wasn't considered to be the mainstream or the it type of music.
It's that.
So right, the it style or whatever. So, just I think that's something that me and my team kind of just we all, relate on that. That's the core thing for us. We all came together because we're true to that one thing, staying true to that style. And, it keeps us being like what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent with our fans or whoever's tuning into us. They're gonna you're guaranteed to get that every time because this is what we do. We're masters at this shit. So I think you know for my team and my camp, we just, even if we're not like in constant contact, it's natural. It's naturally there. They know that if I hit streets or if I hit China or I hit Rim or or Bubs or anybody in the camp. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they got a sound that you're not gonna get anywhere else,
All
and it's gonna
right.
be authentic because this is who they are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
So,
shout out to the camp,
so
okay?
yeah, shout out to the camp. And you know, and the fan base is true to that. They you know they know what they want, and that's why they're loyal and they stay
Mhm.
here. And you know, they don't like none of that other shit. All that drill shit, you do that shit, they boo you. They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You know how it go. But
And
you know, nothing
drill,
against my drill
obviously, drill
niggas.
is
Nothing against
very
my
is
drill
it's
niggas. Nothing against my drill niggas and none
right.
of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my guys that do that thing that I tap in with. Shout out to my nigga Fresco. You know, but yeah,
But drill
let me
is
get through
like
Ratchet.
definitely like it. That I don't know, like since Pop Smoke and you know we got Fabio Foreign now and all that. Like it's been kind of thing. It's like the it sound, which they're trying to say it's
I mean,
basically more for New
I, I
York.
I like a lot of that shit though. I ain't gonna lie. I like some of the drill joints. You know what I'm saying? It's just you know we're in a time where you know there's a lot of people who I feel are not mentally mature
Mm,
enough to ingest the music and not let it affect how they really living in real life. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I get that even some people who create the drill songs they coming from a place where they live in that shit every day, you know what I'm saying? But we gotta change the narrative, I ain't preaching or trying to tell nobody how to live, man, but we
right,
gotta love our people. We gotta do a little better, you know what I'm saying? And just
right.
it's entertainment, man. It's only entertainment. Do what it do, but just try not to live that shit
Right.
out, man. Like, that's the key right now.
So one piggyback question: do you feel hip hop has evolved in a good way, or in a way where it's just like, okay, I feel like we're kind of getting away from the substance of it?
Um, shit, both.
Mm-hmm.
I would say both those is. I think we have evolved in a good way, but also we have plummeted in other ways substantially.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's my opinion. I don't want to ruffle no
Right.
feathers. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of shit that got incorporated in the culture that I felt like we could have left that out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly evolving as a people, and so I guess we just have to be open minded, and figure out how to maneuver and not let the culture die or get oversaturated with too much of that shit. You know what
All
I'm saying?
right.
So, you know,
Yes.
yeah.
So let's go into the music. So obviously you released your album on last year, 2022. I want you to kind of talk about, because like I said, I already named a few tracks that I was like, all right, so hip to things of that nature. And of
Yeah.
course, I know you're working on some new projects and some new releases, which we're going to get into that. I kind of want you to kind of talk about that release of this album, and then, kind of what you was thinking, what inspired you, and to really put in the message that you really wanted the audience to take away from this project.
You mean, well, so should I answer the first half, which is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
previous
yeah.
project, or that
However,
become?
which way you want
So,
to kind
all
of
right,
go into it.
okay, so let me get into the previous project. Project that I previously released last year. Uh, Man, it has so much shit into it, man. Just it was inspired by a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations,
Mm-hmm.
hopelessness and a lot of things behind that album. But it came from a very genuine place. I started creating the album um, to be completely honest during the time I was incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
So the original name for the project was something else because it's two different titles, but they were inspired from the same, you know, uh, experiences. So a gentleman came to me, and we were like, around each other in the same environment, and he was observing me, and he had, he just came to me one day and said, you got a certain sense of quiet about yourself. I didn't. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person, you know, like I mean, I let you know I don't know what something means, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm about to go look
Like,
that up
what
and
is
see what
that?
it. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I looked it up, and you know, I liked what it meant. You know, it just was like there was something about something. You know, it's very appealing, but you can't put your finger on it what it is. So, you know, it was just a mental note at the time, and after I came home and whatnot, you know, I just, you know, I was writing different pieces, creating throughout the course of years, you know, putting out other shit in between that. But this particular piece, I was kind of like holding on to it because I knew it was something special with it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, shout outs to my boy Emilio Craig. You know, he just came through clutch at a point in time when, you know, things got, you know, this was more like the darker side, the more darker songs on the album, you know, as far as the production, you know, he came along at a time where, you know, it looked like things weren't going to turn out for the better. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm dancing around certain details, but you
I
know, just stick with
get
me.
you.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to a point where once I had like about 25 to 30 tracks for the album, I sat there and, you know, time, you know, it was a race against time too. You know, I was racing against time and I just kind of like, one night it just came to me, you know, I'm playing through the whole thing and it hit me like, yeah, all right, this is the perfect number right here. Like everything about this album is well thought out, you know, the track listing, the names of the songs to every detail that you could imagine. I'm actually gonna do a re-release of this album. You know, put out the vinyl, and if the fans could kind of like decipher the encrypted things that I've, you know, put into it, you know, I got something special for y'all. But you know,
Exclusive? Okay.
real exclusive, man. But you know, I was looking at doing some time. You know, I was facing 10 years, man. Shit got real nasty for me, so I felt like the album was gonna be like yo, if I put this out, this is gonna be the last thing to represent me for the next whatever 10 years or whatever as an artist. So I wanted it to, you know, be meaningful and shit. You know, so yeah, that's what inspired Genesis Choir mostly. You know, my experiences from like 2012 to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as my upcoming projects, it's a few ideas in the air, man.
Okay.
Ain't no telling what I'm gonna hit y'all with next, man. But y'all got multiple projects on the way, multiple features, all kind of shit. Plus, you know, just 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 bear with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I take my time because I like to give y'all quality shit. I don't want to just throw anything out there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
And as you should take your time. I think sometimes, you know, and we see it like like I definitely see it with some artists that drop an album or EP or something like every other week, and it's just like, all right, like what's the thought process? What is this? Are you
yeah,
really just trying to put a track out here just to throw a track out here? Because
right,
you know you're just trying to, I don't know, stay relevant in the music. But I think the quality comes, you know, in this what's the word I'm looking for, to be able to sustain in the industry. I
right,
think when you really take that time and you're really putting that thought, you put in that motion, because obviously the culture of today is like, okay, I need something to relate to. Who
right,
am I relating to? What are you saying that make me feel like, okay, oh, I feel his pain, you know? And this, the
right.
one thing I can't say with this album is definitely something like I heard the in-depthness, I heard the substance in which your writing was, because clearly there was something you was feeling and it was something you had to basically get off your chest and put out there. So that,
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
something, first of all, that will sustain throughout time, right? And of
most
course we're
definitely.
looking forward to your up and coming projects and
Most,
things that you have
yeah,
going on. um
yeah,
So first of all, I want to say thank you for sitting down and be able to have this conversation with me. I
Yeah,
do
most
appreciate
definitely.
it. Those who are not following, please make sure you
Appreciate
hit that
y'all
follow
having me.
button and make sure that you know, you definitely check us out because we're gonna have our YouTube channel. So if you're just coming in or you're just tuning in, listening, definitely check out our YouTube channel. This is going to be up and live and running. Okay. Before we wrap up, what was one of your what so far with all the music that you have created and music that you do have upcoming and rolling out? What has by far been your most favorite track that you have put your
Yeah.
energy and your time in?
Wow. It's more than one, man. But if I was to pick the top song, oh shit, it's tough.
Of course.
Um, I go Monday
Mm,
morning.
that's a good track.
Monday morning is probably one of my favorite tracks because it was me stepping out of my element, by a stretch, but it was actually inspired by one of my favorite producers, and that's what gave me the motivation to really want to execute that shit. Yeah.
And who's one of your favorite producers?
Knowledge with an X. He's from out in I think he's from the UK, but I came across him very early, on my journey as an artist, and probably like '07, '08, and just to see where he is now as a producer. I've never had the honor of meeting him in person or even whatever, but it's gonna happen. That is what it is. But you could be a fan, right?
Right.
Everybody's a fan of somebody. You know what
Of
I'm saying?
course. It's all
So
right to fan out sometimes,
yeah,
but
yeah, man.
then
I'll be fanning out with the
you have to
producer.
manifest it too. Put it out there in
Yeah,
the environment.
most
So
deaf,
you can
most
do what
deaf.
you got to do. Surprise. Make sure you speak yourself into rooms that you ain't think that you could be there.
Yeah,
No, but know
come
that you're gonna be
on,
there.
man. Yeah, most deaf, man. So
And I
that's
believe
who
you definitely
inspired.
will get there because you have amazing
Yeah,
music. You're very talented.
thank you,
Do you have any
thank you.
upcoming shows that you may be performing at?
Ah,
We
shoot,
outside
man.
this summer. What's going on?
Yo, you never know. You never know. Just keep your eyes open, man. Keep your eyes and your ears open. You never know, man. I might just pop up in your city. You never know.
All right, so you better let us
Let's,
know what's going on in NYC first,
yeah,
okay?
if just yeah, just stay in tune with me. Just stay in tune with me. Follow me on. If you don't follow me now. Stay in tune with what I got going on,
Yeah.
and yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for coming through. For guys everybody that's coming through, or those who are going to see this at a later time, please make sure you are following this dope artist. Okay. Let me tell you guys, and if you are going to follow the artist, and make sure that you not only just stream the music, you purchase it. I think one of the biggest things about independent artists is that it takes a lot to develop their music, and it takes money. So guys, please let's
Yeah, I
always
don't know.
show our support
I
and
don't
make sure
know.
that we are purchasing the music. Okay, trust me, everything I listen to I make sure I purchase, hands down. That's why I get in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, man. Support your. You know what I'm saying? Support your favorite artists, man. You remember how it used to be back in the day? It's too accessible now. I understand, but
Mm-hmm.
still show that love, man, because we appreciate that shit. We don't need it. We just appreciate it. It's your way of saying,
Exactly.
yo, we recognize what you got going on. Keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
It takes a
let's
lot, man. You got to get
go.
out here, these
Uh,
tours, and then putting this music together. Y'all listening
it
for
take a lot.
hours. We
I don't
understand. We
know.
understand.
I don't even
So,
know.
so thank you once again for coming through, guys. If you're not following, please make sure you're following. And not only are you following Mr. Onyx, Ami,
Ox,
Lord
Omni.
Jesus, I
Yeah,
done messed up the whole
Ox.
name.
It's all good. It's all good,
Please
man.
forgive me. Much respect.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Definitely come through, follow through Genius R Us every Thursday night. We are speaking with some of the most dope artists that's doing their thing. So, Ox, thank you so much for coming through, and you enjoy the evening,
Appreciate
of
y'all. You as
course.
well. You as well. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Of course. All right.
Uh,
You have a
all
good
right. All
night.
right. Good night.
Hey, hey. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Once again, amazing conversation, dope artists. Please make sure that you're going to support. Like I said, just don't stream the music. Make sure you are purchasing the music. All right. Listen. So, guys, you already know. Tune in with us every Thursday. We're actually coming. I think we have a few more episodes for this season, and then we're gonna wrap it up. All right. So, guys, Thursdays right here, 7 p.m. Indie Talks. All right. So, guys, I am just one of your hosts, Aisha Lewis Redway. And of course, my beautiful co-host, Danielle Meeks, could not join us tonight, but she will be back next week. All right, guys. You already know what it is. It's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. And you already know it don't get no realer than this. Until next time, peace.